That's not set up quite yet. Now it is.
Okay, they should be able to hear you now.
Now it is.
Okay, they should be able to hear you now.
All right. Hi, Diane. Hi, Mary. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Alice. Hi, Mary.
So, did we have another issue?
Yes.
What?
It's not going live on the camera.
I'm getting this. So.
I messed with the camera.
You touched my camera?
I did.
She did. Knocked it out of the rubber bands. So I got it back to picture, but I can't seem to get it to
We're getting
send
that
it.
disconnect signal. Is the internet on in here? Does it need to be reset over there? I messed up the camera, guys. I decided I wanted to rearrange the camera. And when I did that, I knocked something out of alignment. Now they have to figure out what I did. Oh, here we go. Oh, let's go for a ride. Let's look at the messy side of my table. That's a great idea. You got to see my honey there.
That's what you get for messing with our stuff.
Yeah. We're seeing all around. Now, I cleaned up my table so it looked like my shop was cleaner, but no. Bryce's arm, yeah. How many of you guys have a kit? How many's kit arrived?
Turn the plastic towards me.
Or just turn the entire thing.
Or the whole thing. Yes. Keep going.
Oh, keep going.
Well, someone's stolen the rubber bands that belong here.
There are rubber bands in a bag right behind you. Sorry, guys. Oh, good. Mary, you got yours. Good. Okay.
I'm just going to keep it here until we figure it out.
And I just went back to welcome to my classroom. Oh, you did that on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Margie's trying to keep you from getting seasick by watching the camera run all over the place.
Okay.
Hello, Mary T.
I have to.
Welcome, welcome.
That's about where she wanted it.
Okay. That looks good. That looks good. That's actually what I was trying to do.
Except for we've got to turn it a little bit.
Okay. Yay. Well, sorry we're late getting started. A little technical difficulty. Sometimes I have to learn to leave things alone. Let's take a look at what we're going to do today. We're going to make these beautiful cards. Let's see if I'm holding it right. I got to go lower. Let's see. There we go. We are going to make these beautiful cards. Yeah. Now we need it halfway between where you have it now and where I had it, where it was. Just so I can hold it up, but I don't want to be sitting on the floor looking. Trying to hold it up. Can you go a little bit lower to my work surface? There we go. A little more.
She wants to have the cutter bean seen.
Well, we're not doing, there we go. There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, that's better. All right. There we go. Hello, Betty McSorley.
I lost my lunch.
It's
Okay.
right here.
Here we go. We're making this. We're making this. We're making this. You can see in this one just how glittery this is. Is that amazing? Woohoo! We have better lights to catch the glitter today. We're making this. Oh, aren't they beautiful? And we're making this. We may not get all 5 of them done in class, but you will absolutely know how to finish them, and you will want to. because they are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's get our kits out and take a look at what you're getting in your kit. Let's see, let's set these off to the side for a minute now. And let's get in our kit and see what's in it. We got a really good camera view. When it's all said and done, I made my camera people upset with me by messing with the camera, but we did get things exactly where I want them today, because you can get a really good view of what we're doing, and I still don't feel like I'm sitting on the floor showing it to you. So this is really a perfect camera angle when it's all said and done. That's what I was just saying. Okay, in our kit, you have ribbon and tags. I think all of our bows are, yes, all of our bows are tacked under our cardstock. So we don't necessarily need the best glue ever today. We're going to be able to just use our tape. I do need a roll of tape, Margie, please. Somehow my tape has gotten away. I don't think there was much left on my roll. So we should be able to use our tape to finish most everything. And so we don't need to start by tying bows. We've got, in our kit, you've got 2 DL cards and envelopes. I'm going to put my envelopes out of the way. And we have a square card, two 5x5 square cards and envelopes, and we have a 5x7 card and envelope. I'm excited to say that this week all of these are in 300 GSM cardstock, which is excellent. That's the good stuff from Hunky Dory that we get, except that these are craft style cards and envelopes. I'm loving the quality of those. And then you should have in your kit, when you have it in hand, you should have 2 sheets of 6x6 cardstock with an adhesive band through them and 3 8x8s. So we've got those. You've got your napkins. And I went ahead, just in the interest of time, you're welcome, and peeled all the layers off the napkins for you to make it easier. We've got some mirror board in several colors. We've got gold, rainbow, black mirror board. We've got some purple. We've got some copper mine, and we've got some cardstock. We've got some foam squares. We've got, this is a really rich kit. You've got 2 really good sized packets of clear and glittered embossing powder. I have to tell you, I sat and packaged all these, and I wrapped them all up and thought, oh, this is going to work really well. Then I thought about mailing all this powder through the mail without having it labeled what it was. And I decided I better write on them because they might think we're having fun in a different way. So I wrote on them what they were in case somebody... And then this happy birthday sticker actually is not in any of my samples. I put it in because I thought that the copper matched the copper mine backing paper really well. And I thought if you wanted to use that instead of your label for that card, you would have that available. So we have a lot of good materials here today. I'm going to set these aside for right now. And where we're going to start is we're going to start by separating the pieces of our napkin. I'm going to get what we're going to need for our first card. This is our first one we're going to do. So for this card, we're going to need our 5x7 card blank. Let's get that out, and then we'll set everything else aside. We need this one. So I need one of my 8x8 mats. I can put these napkin pieces all off to the side for now. I'm going to need black and gold mirror boards. So I'm going to get this 8x8 mirror board and one of my pieces of black out. I'm going to want one of my black tags out of my tags kit. Everybody's tags are going to be a little bit different. They may be different shapes than I used. They'll still be beautiful. I'm going to use this for someone's special tag for mine. I'm going to get out my blue and sage ribbon. I tell you guys, this is turning into one of my favorite colors in this iridescent ribbon. I'm going to set these ribbons off to the side for now. I don't want to try and repack them. So we should have all of our supplies out for this one now. We're going to need our embossing powder, clearly. But we're going to just start. What did I just do with my napkin?
I think
It's right here under my card. It's right here under my card. Okay, this is where we're going to start. We are going to peel our napkin. So, open it up, and you will see that you will actually have material enough here to easily do 2 cards of the style that we're doing, because we kind of have one complete scene on each one. A lot of times, one napkin will do up to 6 cards. This one happens to do 2. Unless you wanted to do some smaller things with these panels with hydrangea on them, which would be absolutely beautiful. But we are going to take a 5x7 right out of the middle. And what we're going to do first, before we peel this, is I want you to take a little bit of adhesive, just put it on your finger, let it get tacky. My regular glue out of my glue bottle is doing just fine with this job. Get my finger sticky. And I'm going to add some more glue because that didn't do it. Let's try it again. And when I do this, theoretically, I had no problem whatsoever pulling all these apart. Now, it doesn't want to do it for me. Come on. My fingers, maybe I need more stickum. Let's get my fingers a little bit stickier.
The finger lift tape works pretty good too.
Well, I did all of those napkins in these kits and just whipped them right loose there. I may have picked the one that was tougher to peel. I don't know. But I'm going to keep working at it till I get it here. Do it with this hand so I can... But put a little glue on your fingertips and this becomes an easier job. Come on. Let's see. I never imagined this would be my holdup today.
Hey Debbie, finger lift works really easy.
Yeah, but it'll tear my napkin up. I don't want to tear it up. Come on. I may cut it first. So I don't have a bound edge all the way. That might. Binding on this particular napkin's really good. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my napkin first. I want to make sure that I have plenty of room. So I'm going to cut. I just want to show you how to do the toughest part, so I guess we're getting that for sure today. I'm going to cut. You can see that I'm cutting along one panel, and then I'm cutting extra out of one side. You usually won't have to cut it first, but because my napkin's being difficult, I think maybe I'll have an easier time separating it if I get away from the bound edge. There we go. There we go. These are 3-ply napkins. It does look like 2 of them are separating at one time, so that's nice. Once I got it away from the bound edge of this napkin, then it peeled really nicely. And I can tell, you can kind of tell it's like a piece of tissue when you really have everything off the back of it. And this is heavy enough that I know 2 of my layers came off at once. A lot of times you have to take the 2 layers off separately. I'm going to take the rest of my napkin and set it aside because I can use this for another project. And I may very well do that. Look at what we have left here. I have 1 good sized panel here, which would be beautiful on a card. And then I could actually get up to 3 out of this if I wasn't making a 5x7. So I'm going to set this aside for a different project. Let's get to our cardstock here. And I'm going to get my cardstock, and the first thing I want to do is make sure that my adhesive is rubbed down really, really good. So, oh, she was having a great time in What's New Wednesday, wasn't she? She was funny this week. She was really cute. You would never guess by looking at her on there that she's a shy kid, but she is. She was really cutting up. Okay, we're going to peel the adhesive back. And I'm going to put my Paris napkin right into my adhesive. Now this part's kind of rolling on me a little bit at the top, so I'm going to make that the last part that I put down. And I'm going to get it started nice and evenly. And I'm going to rub it down, because this is really a super lightweight piece of paper. And then just start rolling it back onto your adhesive. And there we go. That looks beautiful. There we go. I like that. That looks great. I do have a little bit of sticky left around the edges. That's not a problem. Okay. Now, one thing I did not say is have yourself something to capture your embossing powder in. And we're going to start with the packet that has the glitter in it. I will tell you that my recipe for this was I used Wow embossing powder, and I used 1/3 of a jar, almost a half a jar of embossing powder to 6 very generous, and I mean heaping, as high as I could heap them, heaping spoons full. These are little spoons, so I'm going to say it's going to be, what do you think, Margie? It's probably going to be at least a minimum of a tablespoon. 6 of these heaping, and I mean they were as high as I could heap them. So I'm going to say it's going to be a tablespoon to maybe even 4 heaping teaspoons of glitter. And I used that ultra fine glitter in here, which I think is really giving some pretty spectacular results. So kind of our powdery glitter, our standard glitter is what I used on them. And I pre-mixed them so you wouldn't have to deal with the mess. The Wow is just regular Wow glitter, or Wow embossing powder. And since I have a glitter jar right here, I recommend getting some kind of a little container. One kind of container that was recommended to me was like the flat kitchen containers with the snap-on lids, so you could kind of spoon it and kind of pour it all off at one time. I prefer personally just to have a jar, so I'm going to put my glittered powder in there. I'm going to put my Wow powder in this little partial jar I have here, I know I don't have enough in my jar for working. You'll see how much powder you're getting. You're getting a lot in these kits. You get almost a full jar, a little short of a full jar of wow, between the two kinds of powder that you're getting this week. Mine only had a little bit left in it, and it's nice and big now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is get our embossing pad. I actually have made so many of these cards that my embossing pad's getting to be a little light now. So I had Brittany bring me up a fresh one. I am going to get some re-inkers for these. I don't think we have to necessarily use hunky-dory re-inkers, so I'll get some re-inkers for these embossing pads so that you can fill this over and over again. But I'm just going to go along here and I'm going to pat my pad directly on top of my napkin. All the way around, and I'm going to make sure I have a really good coat of ink right over my napkin there. Now I'm going to take my glittery embossing powder and I'm going to sprinkle it very generously on my napkin. I just have scratch paper here to catch mine. It works pretty well. And tap off the extra. What's going to happen where the extra glue was, it's going to get covered with embossing powder, so it's going to make this a lot easier to handle, because it won't have that sticky line on there. I'm going to pick up my scratch paper, pour it back in my jar. You should not do what I just did and leave your pad open while you're doing that, because you'll get glitter on it. Okay, we're going to bring our embossing gun into the picture. I'm going to wipe this just a little bit. Why I'm bothering, I don't know. Because I don't like the crummy feel on the table. That's the truth. Okay, so following today, you will actually have 4 kinds of, if you've gotten our kits each week, you'll have 4 kinds of embossing powder in your collection. You'll have this one. I would not mix these two because this is Detail Extra Fine Nouveau and this is just regular wow. And then you've got your gold and you've got your sparkly. Several people have expressed interest in these Tiffany embossing gun holders. I was only able to get 2 more. They're on order, so I guess it'll be first come, first served for those. When they get here, I'll let you know when they're here, and whoever buys them gets them. Take just a minute for my gun to get hot. I'm actually going to use this little platform thing that they give you with the Tiffany stand because I like having that solid piece behind my work. And we're not overcooking it. We're just watching the colors change. And one of the things I love about this process, guys, is that it really intensifies the color as you work. We'll compare that napkin we just took off to this one that we're putting embossing powder on, and you'll see what I mean. It's amazing how it just intensifies the color of these napkins, which is pretty cool. Sometimes you'll get a little ridge in your napkin. I see that I have one kind of forming here under the surface. I'm going to rub that down once I get my powder all on. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to push that back into the adhesive. Don't worry about that. It just comes from having adhesive underneath, and the adhesive kind of releases just a little bit due to the heat. I'm going to show you the original versus the glittery now. Look at the difference in colors between those two. You see what I mean? It really intensifies the color as we work, which is pretty cool. Okay, so why does it look like there's something underneath there? Huh. I don't know. I'm going with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut this down a bit and just make it a little more easy to work with. I'm going on to a 5x7 card, but I am going to have some edges around it, so I'm going to move these things out of the way and get my paper cutter out here. It actually looks like I got a little something underneath my napkin, but we're just going to go with it at this point and ignore that. I'm cutting along my fastened edge there. And this is going to be bigger than I need it to be. That's okay.
Kim says that she's seen a technique with gloss embossing powder.
Uh-huh.
It makes it look like, and you do it 3 times,
Uh-huh.
and then it looks like glass.
We're doing that next. We're going to put gloss over the top, Kim. Now, I don't think, let's see, I actually got one of my edges a little loose here. I'm going to cut this a little narrower this time, and I'll just adapt because one of my edges didn't get fastened down quite as tight as I wanted it. Okay. All right. Yes, that's what we're doing next. Over the top, we are going to put down some layers of the wow without the glitter right over the top of this. Now, if you're happy with the amount of glitter, you can be done with the glittering. If you feel like you want a second coat, you could do that too. But there's no sense in using up the one that's got the glitter in it if you're satisfied with your results at this point. And next, we're going to put down our clear sheen over the top so that we get that glassy looking look right over the top of what we're doing. Now, I do want to make sure that I have all of any loose glitter. Mostly, I'm just checking here. I'm checking here to make sure everything got glittered good. And I actually have one little dull spot here, so I think we're going to put down a second layer of glitter before we go on. Just check it over and see if you look like it. See if it looks like you want more. If you want more, just go back and hit it with another coat. I'm going to hit the glitter one more time. It won't hurt anything. It won't make my picture less visible or anything. And then we're going to put some layers of clear embossing right over the top of this. Like I said, you might find that you get a few little ripples in your napkin as you go. Just press those back down. It's okay. It's inherent in the lightweight material that we're using. I have a little string in there. Gonna get rid of. Make sure everything else looks good. I don't know why I'm getting some little stringiness, but I think it's just bits of embossing powder kind of sticking together, but I'm getting rid of them anyway. Okay. And some of it could be off of my other pad because I used and used and used and used and used my pad, and I may have gotten some little strings in my embossing powder from that. I have even more examples to show you of this technique, more that are not in our kit itself, because I wanted to try some other things. And okay, let's hit it again. And you can definitely tell when it's cooking because we have lots of nice dark elements in this that will show you very clearly that you're getting this embossed nicely. I wanted to turn this around so you guys could watch it turn too.
Able to join us after she got the flu shot, and Katie has after the violin lesson.
Okay.
So hi guys.
Hi guys. Takes a while to do all of this area because we're really embossing a huge area here compared to what you'd normally do on a card. I like this little platform thing for holding this because I don't feel like I'm going to burn my fingers. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to hit this to bottom again. Once you've done that, look at it and see if there's any area that needs more attention. If so, hit just those areas. I'm going to take it off and I'm going to push my napkin back into my adhesive a little bit anywhere it needs it. The effect we're going to end up with on here is we're going to end up, as Kim was saying, that looks like glass over the top of this. But what we're going to, the way I like to describe it is, it looks to me like I have a piece of glittered cardstock that's been printed with a pattern, and then you lay a piece of glass over the top of it, which is really pretty cool. Okay, get our embossing pad out again. Just making sure I don't have any stray powder on it, because I'm going to try to avoid getting it on my ink pad this time. I'll still probably get a little bit. Won't be so bad. And this time, I'm going to put the clear wow on it. Make sure you get a little bit everywhere. Cap it so you don't get the powder in there. Pour on our embossing powder. I can see where having the flat container that was recommended would be useful, because it would kind of catch all those things, kind of fall off the sides the way I do it. Okay, got that nice and covered. Pour it back in my jar. And this back up on my platform. Hit it again. With this next layer, you're going to begin to see the glossiness start. Now, what you will end up with, because we're working with napkins, you may see a tiny bit of ridging in there. I like to describe that as it's like stained glass. You know, I don't know if you've ever done stained glass with the actual glass, but you know how a panel of stained glass has kind of the smooth, it has kind of like little tiny waves in it. You may get a little of that just because you are working on a napkin. I like to, after every coat, I like to push the napkin back into the adhesive, but you'll still have some of that little ridging. And that's just characteristic of the material we're using, guys. So don't get frustrated or feel like you did something wrong if you see a little bit of ridging in it. It will be beautiful. And that's just characteristic of the material that we're using. Now we're beginning to get the sheen to it that you were talking about, Kim. Can you see that in the light? Now we're starting to really get that. And we're going to put on 3 layers, just like you said. Coming back in with my pad. Going to hit it again. Boy, this is beautiful. The coloring of this, I hope you can catch on camera just how sparkly and gorgeous these are. I did set the lights, Margie and Bryce set the lights up a little different today to where we actually can see the sparkle a little bit more than we could in the last time I tried to show this to you, because we have a little bit more intense light right here where we're working. Yeah, I use the collective I, like we, you know. That doesn't mean I do everything. That means that the group does those things and I use the...
And then you touch the phone.
And then I touch the phone and screw up all the work they've done. You don't like to think of me in technology, guys. People were astounded when I said I actually wrote the download instructions for the video this time. Everybody assumed Bryce wrote them because they were good instructions. But I tell you why they came out so well, because I actually did it as I wrote the instructions. So I could tell you this is what you're going to see on your screen, and I wrote instructions I would want to follow. We have 2 of our downloads up now, and that's one of my projects for this week is to put up number 3. And then Margie and I have the cards done for number 4. We just have to find time to actually film the video. So we'll have those done in the next couple weeks. You'll have all 4 of your downloads available for those who have been waiting for those.
Diane wants to know if there are 2 different bags of embossing powders in this kit.
Yes, there are. You get the sparkly embossing powder, and you get the Wow embossing powder. Oh, and you get 2 really nice, generous bags of embossing powder. And it'll be very obvious which one's which. The glitter's the one that sparkles. But yeah, you get 2 really nice sized bags of embossing powder. Especially since we're hitting some of these card faces 3 times with the Wow, I didn't want you guys to run short. But I put it into bags instead of sending the bottles because the bottles are a lot more expensive to send. Because they're bulky. And I could, that you can really see how shiny that's getting now, can't you? Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. One more though, we're still putting on another layer. And here we go again. I'm going to push down my, anywhere it looks like it's got a little ripple. It's not going to make all those ripples go away because again, it's a napkin. So you're going to have a little bit of rippling under there, but just look at it like it's a piece of stained glass. Well, that's okay though, Mary, because you can always come back, or Diane, you can always come back and pick up the video and do it then with your kit when you have it in hand. It's really trying to stay ahead of you guys with 2 projects a week. It really gets challenging to try and get the projects done and the kits done in time to, you know, allow ample mailing time. And I've been running really close to the wire. Alice is asking about, would this work with tissue paper? Well, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to give it a qualified yes. I didn't do it with tissue, but I will say that this napkin, by the time you take all the extra layers off, is pretty close to tissue paper. And I'm going to show you some more examples when we finish our cards here today of things I did with rice paper. And if you've worked with rice paper at all, you know that rice paper is super thin too. I had the same issues with the little bit of rippling underneath it. But it came out beautiful on the rice paper. I can't wait to show them to you. I did them last night when I should have been doing a new project. But I'm telling you, this is a fun project, and it's way more fun to do than some other things. Not that I don't think they're all fun. I mean, I craft for a living, and I have a good time with all of my projects, but this one is just exceptionally fun because the results are so stunning. So if you didn't get your kit for this one yet, get it. Your kit's a really, really good deal this time because a jar of Wow embossing powder is $13. You get you get a very large amount of embossing powder. I'm going to say you get probably 2/3 of the jar of embossing powder between your glittered embossing powder and the bag of Wow in your kit. You're going to get 2/3 of the jar of embossing powder plus all these specialty papers, all these card blanks, your ribbon and everything. And what did I charge? I think it was $20. And the powder alone would be $13, not including the glitter. And that glitter's not cheap, but it's beautiful. And like I said, you have a generous amount of that glitter. I can tell you that if you're pouring it in out of the little vials that I sent you, I put almost a half a vial of glitter in each container that I was making of the embossing powder. So there's a lot of glitter in here. Wow.
I recall that was the sound that you said when you were working on them.
Well, it's stunning, you know? It's just stunning.
They just pop and look so
Now again, as we put these extra layers on, compare this to the original. It's just so intense. The colors intensify so much when we're working. Isn't it something? It's beautiful. Beautiful how it does that. Okay, this one's done. Let's make a card out of it. You didn't miss the gift class. In fact, the boxes with the ribbon just got here. And now that they are here, I need to go through and make a decision about which ribbons we're going to use in those kits and get the kits out ready. I just got more of the bow makers in. So we're just about ready to put that kit together. Kim, you didn't miss a thing. Okay. So my paper right now is 4.5, so I'm going to stay with that width. And then I'm going to take this to 6.5, which means that I'm going to need to cut down my... That's actually, my image this time is a little narrower than last time. So if you center your napkin better than I did on mine, you actually will, well, actually, no, never mind. It really is just almost the same. Here I am confessing an error that I didn't make. I want to get this full image down to, I actually cut the top off of this tower a little bit. I had to in order to get the base. But I'm going to get my full image down to 6.5. And that's actually going to be pretty good, I think. Let's see. I think I'll see if I can leave a full butterfly at the bottom there. Kind of hate to cut the butterfly in half. Might have to take a little bit more off the Eiffel Tower. Not much, though. Just a tiny amount. There we go. Okay, so I've got a 6.5 by 4.5 inch piece there now. I'm going to wipe up any stray powder because it bugs me. Don't like that grainy feel of my work surface. Okay, let's get our card blank out. All right, we're going to fold it in half. Let me see how I layered this. I'm going to put my black on first. So I'm going to oh, what is today? Today's the 15th, right? Mm-hmm. Today is the day, oh no, it is finger lift, never mind. Today is our anniversary. We Simply Special Crafts is 18 years old today.
And Kim is having her first anniversary on the 31st.
Happy anniversary, Kim. Yeah, this is our 18th anniversary on this day today because it's the 15th. Woohoo! Why do we still have people waiting in our queue down there? That's interesting. I never see that. I see watching. I don't see waiting.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting. Well, they're here. They're seeing, so I guess I won't worry about it. Just an odd thing. I can usually see how many people are watching, but today it says how many people are waiting. Weird. Maybe it's just refreshing that screen that I see.
Maybe. Let's...
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to cut off. Oh yeah, there it goes. So now it went to 26 watching. That's better. That was just weird.
Just a weird little thing. Fixed it.
Okay, thank you, Margie. Okay, we have our card faced in black. Now I'm going to cover I'm going to put my beautiful image that we just made, and I want a super fine line of gold around this. I just want just enough gold to make this image kind of pop out. And not so much that it takes over the card. So I'm going to, let's see.
So there are two questions. Alice asked if you thought that maybe mulberry paper would work similar to rice paper.
I think so.
I think
I'd have to try it, but I would believe so.
And then my mom wanted to know if you could do this to postcards.
Yes. I'm almost certain that postcards would work, and maybe even a little easier, Glenda. I'm going to try it, though. I'm going to try it on some cardstock. I have a project that I want to get ready to bring to the big group, the bigger Saturday group. We may do this on one of those cards because I think it would be beautiful. I'll give you a little hint. We're using a new collection. We're using some papers from a new collection from Stamperia called Hortensia. Hortensia is another name for... Hello. My tape separated. I think this is that roll of tape out of those I pulled out of inventory because
there's two rolls over there because I wasn't sure which one was what.
Yeah. This one's one I pulled out of inventory because the tape separated from the paper, which is fine. I don't mind using it. It just surprised me.
It was the only two we have left up here.
Hortensia is another name for hydrangea. It's often called Hortensia. And it's also the goddess of something from Rome. I didn't go in and look at all the history, but it, yes. So I'm going to try it on cardstock. And if it works on cardstock, I'm certain it will work on postcards. But I will try it and let you know for sure. Maybe really, really soon, because I think I'm going to go ahead and do that Hortensia set, like, right away. Why? Because it's purples and blues, guys, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. So you're going to see it really soon. And I already have all the supplies here to make them. So wahoo, why not? Why not just get right into it? That's what I think. Our paper is so thick now that it rolled just a little from the heat, and I'm just, in order to get it to lay down flat again, all I'm doing is just kind of lightly rolling it back the other way. And see, now I've got it pretty flat. But it was rolling just a little on me because it was heated, you know, and that can cause things to curl just a little. Okay, I'm going to eyeball this. If you're more comfortable cutting it on the trimmer, feel free to do that.
You know what my answer would be.
Many of my crafty friends say, oh no, I can't do that. But I'm going to see if this is going to be narrow enough or if I need to take a little bit more off. I'm going to take a little bit more off of my edges there, but it is getting beautiful. I'm excited! Oh, wow. You have old postcards from the 1800s. Ooh, I think I'd photograph those and use the photographs and keep the postcards. I'm just cutting this down just a little bit more so I have a little bit more of an edge around my black, guys. That's what I'm doing. It's just like when I cut it with the trimmer. Sometimes I have to just trim it, look, and then trim more. But I don't want to trim too much on the first round because you can't put it back. Let's see how we're doing now. That looks good. Woohoo! Oh, I love that. Okay, Okay. Now we're going to tie our bow to go around here before we tack this down. I'm so excited. I really, really love these cards. I mean, I'm telling you, I love these cards. Did I tell you I like these cards? I'm not sure I did. I should tell you again that I think they're marvelous. Okay. So I'm going to leave the tail on my bow, probably, about 5 inches maybe. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a 5-1-5 bow, making sure that the shiniest side of my ribbon is towards me. And you guys know that when I tie a 5-1-5, I'm using my Embellishment Addict bow maker. If you haven't seen this before, it is like the most remarkable device for tying a beautiful bow easily and quickly. I've wrapped it around at 5. I've come back and done the same thing on the left-hand side. I wrapped it around 1, came back to the left and did the same thing. Wrapped it around number 5, and came back and did the same thing on the left. Shoved the ribbon down through the hole. Bring it back up between the zeros. I know that sounds complicated. If you haven't done that, I'm just reminding those who have this bow maker what we're doing, because if you don't use it for a while, you can forget. And then I'm flipping it over, pulling my bow off. I will tighten my bow by holding the loops and just kind of pulling the ends. And then I will pull my little loops out at the center, and we have like the most magnificent bow. It will be beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that bow. And how long did it take us to tie that? 30 seconds? Was it that long? I don't know. I am going to cheat a little, as I often do. I'm going to flip my bow over. I'm going to put just a little bit of my finger lift tape on there to hold my loops of my bow out beautifully where I want them to be.
So Alice said that you look at decorative napkins in a whole different way, and I can vouch for your stack of decorative napkins and my mom's.
Margie recognizes that I can be a little impulsive sometimes when I shop. But I was in Tuesday morning one day when they were doing a just kind of inventory reduction. They just needed to make some room, and they put their whole display of napkins on sale at such an amazing price that I went in and pretty much took a whole bunch. I have 2 big boxes of napkins on my shelf back here, but there's so much you can do with them when you get used to working with them, you know. You just need some ideas. There's Miss Brenda, who is our die cutting champion. She has been die cutting left and right, my friends. I called her on accident one day and got to hear all about it.
She said that she's a die cutting maniac now.
Yay! Look at you go. I'm so proud of you for trying it. I know it can be really intimidating to use a new tool, but that is an easy to use tool. That's a good one. And I'm so glad we got you going with that. She said after all the encouragement, she couldn't possibly not give it a shot. So there we are. Her crafty friends are here for you, Brenda.
She said the encouragement, I'm reading this not quite right. Thanks for all of your encouragement, and you got me over the hump.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, Tuesday Morning has the greatest napkins. If you happen to have a Tuesday Morning store near you, that is the place to go. I have not been to a Tuesday Morning for a very long time now, which I'm very sad about. But one day I will get to go shopping again. Even as much as I am tempted. Diane, Tuesday Morning is an outlet store. They're only located in certain cities, so if you haven't heard of it, you may not have one. They're an outlet store. They do top-rated products, cheap. It's what they do. Say hi to Brittany. Brittany just came in.
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to run this right. My butterfly's in a different place on this one. Oh, it's going to go over my butterfly. Too bad, but it's going to. It's really... Tuesday Morning is a great store. My friend Debbie from Chicago introduced me to Tuesday Morning when I went out there on a business trip once. And so when one opened here in Portland, I thought, wahoo, look what we've got now. We've hit the big time. Of course, now they've just closed a whole bunch of them because of the pandemic. They couldn't keep all of their stores open. So my one that was the closest to me is not here anymore. But we do still have a couple in the Portland area, so I hope that they make it. Because they're really a wonderful store. There's our ribbon on our card. Doesn't that ribbon look fabulous with this design, guys? Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Woohoo! Yes. A lot of the Tuesday Morning stores didn't make it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my card down on my backing here. Oh boy, this is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Brittany Kim said that she loved you on What's New Wednesday this week.
She does a really good job with those. I'm so proud of her. And she did not want to do it. I'm telling you, she fought me on that one. Tooth and nail. Huh?
I still don't want to. I'm giving up though.
Okay, I'm putting this on. I'm going to use glue because that way I don't have to take the time to do my tape flags. Although truly, tape flags would probably be a better choice because mirror board is very smooth and mirror board can let go of glue. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Okay, now we need a little tag here. I'll put my little tag up on some foam squares. I think I didn't do that last time, but I think I will this time. And I have to decide where I want to put it because there's a butterfly where I put it last time. The two different sides of the napkins have slightly different patterns. I'll show you both of them again so you can kind of compare how we position the things here on the two different ones. Okay. Brittany has really grown since she first started doing those. She left so I can brag on her. Has really grown since she first started doing those What's New Wednesdays, hasn't she? Margie used to have to kind of prompt her to say things and, to get a little bit of herself in there. And now she's up and rolling. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to go up a little and to the right of the butterfly because I don't want to cover up my pretty butterfly. He's beautiful.
Katie wants to know how old Brittany is.
Brittany, let's see, I'll be really in trouble if I get this wrong. So let's see. She is 10 years older than Lauren, so that makes her 31, I believe. And then her brother is 10 years older than Jordan. So that's right. That's how it is. So I think she's 31. There we go. Now you can see that they position just a little bit differently depending on how it laid out on the napkin, but they both turned out beautiful, didn't they? And if you were doing this with me, somebody out there's doing this with me. Somebody's kit came in today. I don't remember who said that. Give us some feedback on your results if you're doing it now. You may be waiting, and that's okay. You can see in here a little bit of that textured design that I talked about. You know, that where it textures just a little bit. Isn't that just amazing? Ah, they're beautiful. Okay, enough admiring those. Let's do another one. Okay, boy, I don't even know which one to do next. The black one? Is that the one you want me to do, the black one? Okay.
I love the black one.
All right, Margie says, I love the black one. I want to see the black one next. You got it. I aim to please. Okay, let's get our napkin out here. We'll need another piece of our 8x8 cardstock. And let's see, we're going to need a 4x8 card base. This is what's often called a DL. I didn't put the cap on my glue and it's kind of drizzling here, so let's put the cap on that so when I want to use it, it will work. Okay, no worries, Mary. You'll enjoy doing this later. I promise you guys, when you guys get your kits, you are going to think this is the most fun you can have legally, really. It's amazing. You're also going to want a piece of your black mirror board. With my mirror board. I put all my, yeah, I did. I put all my supplies here in one stack today. So we're going to use black mirror for this. We're going to use yellow ribbon. I think I'll go ahead and cover my card here. Set it off to the side. Hi, those little glue bottles are just amazing, aren't they? $2 in our store. Yes, they are truly amazing. We've sold hundreds and hundreds of them. I think many of them to me. I've got them everywhere. I think I've got 4 or 6 of them here in my little rack. Oh, I totally love them. Sorry. Little tickle in my throat. Ah. There we go. That's better. I put down my 3 rows of easy tear tape as I usually do. I don't care if it's right on the edge, but I do want one on either side, one in the middle. I still sometimes call this easy tear tape. That was the brand from Crafter's Companion. We're actually using finger lift tape from Hunky Dory today, and they call it finger lift. In either case, the attraction is that there is a 1/4 inch piece of adhesive on a 1/2 inch. This cardstock's got a little ding in it. I think I have another one. I think that's going to be used on a smaller card, so I'm going to get my other one here. So it's easy to peel off the paper, unlike the double stick adhesives where you have to keep picking at the tape. And we just put it down on our card, and then we flip it over, and we cut along our card. No measuring, no muss, no fuss, and it's just that fast to cover our card. Save our scraps for sentiments and the like. Okay, I'm going to make sure my tape is rubbed down really good, because when I put these on, I just put them on really fast and I kept going from one to the next. So make sure your tape's rubbed down real good. All right, then we're going to peel up our adhesive. I'll try and do a little better job of positioning this at center this time. I wasn't doing my best work last time, so Let me see if I can do better this time. This tall, skinny image. You will appreciate the fact that I peeled these napkins for you when you get your kid. I believe. Oops. I cut that just a little bit. It's once you start sticking it down, it's stuck. I'm going to have a little ridge there, but I'll work around it. It's not bad. You can't tell. I'm going to rub that in good. Pretty, pretty, pretty. We're probably going to have to trim our card just a little bit, I'm noticing. Yeah. Oh, I know, though, but we have our layers. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit smaller, so. Okay, we got that done. Let's put some glittery stuff on here. Your husband thinks that finger lift tape is a good idea, huh? You gotta watch these guys. They do try to steal your supplies. I have made so many of these cards now that my embossing pad was getting pretty dry. I think I said earlier I'm going to try and see if I can get some refills for us so we don't have to rebuy the pad. We can just keep resticking it. Hunky Dory doesn't make one, but I think Versamark or what's the other one I'm trying to think of? Perfect Pearls. One of those should work pretty well. So I'm going to see if I can get us some refills for our pads. Okay, we got our first layer of glitter on. Looks like I missed it a little bit right at the bottom. See if I can get a little more. Oh, it just didn't get stuck there. I'll catch it on round 2 if necessary. Okay, set that down for a minute. You guys will understand why I love this so much when you get yours, because it's messy. It's a messy project, but man, it's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to get my little paddle out to help me hold my project so I don't have to burn my fingers. Watch this one turn, guys. I think you can see it from there. Watch this black turn. In case you couldn't see it in the sample, this napkin is on black and it's hummingbirds. So pretty. You're going to love this card, I'm telling you. You're going to love it. I've been thinking that one of these days I may venture out and actually go shopping, and I'll see if I can't get some napkins to put in the store for those of you who don't have easy access. Most of mine I bought like one of a kind, so what I need to do is see if I can find some that I can do multiple of a kind. you see that? Look at that glitter and gleam on here. It's beautiful. Now I do know that I missed the bottom, a little piece on the bottom here, so I actually am going to, pushing down my little ridges a little bit, I am going to go back in and do a second coat so I can catch this bottom that I didn't get very well last time.
For those that don't have a Tuesday morning near them as well, TJ Maxx or Home Goods.
Can you guys hear Margie?
Company. So you can usually get some there. They don't have the stock that Tuesday Morning has.
Are they by the same Tuesday Morning's the same company as TJ? Oh, okay.
TJ Maxx and Home Goods are the same company.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of those two have the same brand of napkins.
Okay.
A lot of the time. So if you don't have a Tuesday Morning, that's another place to try.
Good hint, Margie. Did you guys all catch that? Okay. Pouring this back. I love the fact that we could give this 2 coats too, and that because the glitter is so very fine, it doesn't overtake the image. It just, it doesn't make it foggy. It doesn't overtake it. The glitter we're using is just so ultra fine that it catches the light, but it doesn't take over. Who was it out there? One of you guys said you just love to watch embossing powder turn. There's something really intriguing about watching embossing powder turn, isn't there? Especially when the results are so satisfying like this. Just really, really beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, got a little ripple trying to come up here. I'm going to hit that really quick. It does kind of dull my paste a little bit when I touch it there, but 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Do you let the ripple show more, or do you get your fingers in and mess up the glossiness a little? You can do one or the other. Okay, time to put some clear coats on here. All right, here we go. Let's get some clear coats on it. Start that glassy look over the top. That's why I kind of called it glitter and glaze. Technically, if I was going to glaze it, I would use there is a powder out there called Beauty, or I haven't seen much of it lately though, ultra thick embossing enamel. If you really, really want a thick coat of clear, Beauty or ultra thick embossing enamel is an amazing tool for that. But this is doing just fine, and it costs a lot less. Oh.
Kim has to head on out.
Oh, Kim, sorry. Okay, we'll see you on the replay. Try this technique. You're going to love it, guys. You are going to love it. I promise you. You will love it. I think it almost makes the glitter show more when you start putting the the clear coats over the top. There's something about it that kind of amplifies the glitter effect when you start putting the clear coats on. Beautiful. Look at that glassy, beautiful image. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you will have some of those ripples, just like we said. I try and push any of the bigger ones back in a little bit, but you're still going to have a little bit of that because of the material that we're using. That's okay. It's okay. It's going to be fabulous. Everybody's going to get so caught up on how beautiful the glitter is, you don't really... Could you use... Yes. Yes. The ultra thick embossing powder will be beautiful. We're going to use a lot of that embossing powder I sent you. It's okay, be generous with yourself, guys. We can get more. It's okay to really put it to it. I'm knocking this off. I'm not really necessarily trying to knock it off the image. I think the thicker the better over the image, but I hate to waste what sticks on the sides. Because once it goes under the gun, it's going to be stuck to the cardstock. Hi, Betty. Hey, when I walked out here, I had to look for... I have to show you what I got in the mail from Amazon today. And I started reading it right before class, and it's totally charming. By our own resident author. I hope you saw the link in the newsletter. It was to Betty's author page in Amazon. This is her A Home for Molly. I guess I can hold it up where you can see the cover. It's a totally charming book about Molly's journey from being a stray kitty to living in a wonderful forever home. Beautifully written. So, I haven't finished it yet because I didn't allow myself enough time to get it finished, but it is a charming little book. I think it'd be great fun to read to a kid. Missed a spot. Missed 2 spots. The good part is it tells you if you miss it, it isn't very glossy. Okay. How beautiful is this becoming, guys? Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, one more coat and this one will be done. I like the story you tell about Molly wrapping up in the bathroom rugs. That just cracks me up. The stuff cats do, they're amazing and wonderful creatures. Margie's allergic to cats, and James, her husband, loves cats. So James has been looking with great interest at the catio. Margie says I may have just cost her money.
No, you've cost me time to have to go build one.
Oh, okay. Margie says she built her own, but Teddy is not in here today. He came in with me earlier, and then I think he headed out when Brittany was in here. At least I don't think he's in here. Now that he's growing up, he doesn't always make his presence known. He sure is becoming a lap puppy, though. I got up today and came out to the living room. He and Grandpa were all snuggled into Grandpa's chair, snoozing away, the both of them. Yeah.
Even dry stuff, originally. But they were in there snuggling together.
Yeah. They're kind of a match made in heaven, those two. Bob will play with him by the hour. And then when he's ready to snuggle, Bob's always ready to hold him to snuggle, so... I think Teddy's one of the reasons why Bob's very happy here. Because he loves that dog. Of course, things like having his own catio don't hurt either. I just got his cats a bunch of toys and a hammock for their catio. Okay. Ugh, how beautiful is that, guys? How beautiful is that? Let's cut that down and put it on our card, shall we? Oh, almost hate to cut it because it's so darn pretty. Okay, let's see.
This one to me looks the richest, although all of them are very beautiful. But this is my favorite.
Okay. Get myself a square edge to start with, because I kind of put it on here cattywampus. And I know that my card is, let's see, I think I can go about here. My cutter will still cut through it, although it drags a little more with all these layers of paste on it. I want to make sure I got it nice and square here, so it's going to look good on my card. I've got a little to trim off on that edge to get that square. This side looks pretty good. Okay, let's see how this looks on our card now. Okay, I may trim my card just a little bit. And I gotta take a little bit more off my edge. Where am I willing to give it up? Tough decisions. Really tough decisions.
A little here, a little there.
You know what? I see one spot that doesn't look as glazy as it should. I'm going to have that one more time. Yeah. There we go. Had a little spot that wasn't totally cooked. Now it looks good. Oh, darn. I got to take it off his beak or his tail feathers, and I think I want everybody to know he's a hummingbird, so I guess I'll have to take it off that side. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to take about a half an inch maybe off the top of my card. There we go. That's looking better. Okay. Maybe even just a tad more. That's what I'm looking for. There's my nice even borders around. Okay, now I want my yellow ribbon. And I actually tied this one fairly small. I like the way it looked though. I tied this at 4 and 5, guys. And I really like the way it looks kind of draped across this corner with a smaller bow. So I think I'm going to do that again. I'm going to comb out here.
Mary wants to know if Teddy still plays with Milo.
Teddy loves. Oh, Teddy just has a fit if Bryce goes out to feed the goat and he's not with him. I mean, he gets really, really upset. He runs around and tries to see if there's a door open somewhere, and he gets just flat upset if Bryce goes to feed that goat and he doesn't go with. He and Milo are friends. Milo actually rather enjoys Teddy's company since he doesn't have another goat. I think he considers Teddy part of his herd. And the two of them get on famously, really. Okay. I tried to be a little more realistic about the amount of ribbon I gave you this time. You still have plenty for 2 bows. I can't help myself, guys. This yellow is really nice because both sides of the yellow are just about equal in brightness. So you don't have to be too worried about which side's up. Just kind of nice. And this little yellow bow, because it is tied fairly small, I don't think we really have to tape the loops too much here because it's pretty cooperative. I say that and I see I've got kind of a little kink in one of my loops here, kind of twisted. I'm not cutting it. I'm just using my scissors to kind of open it back up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay, I'm going to put a little tape on the back just to wrap it around my corner. Milo likes Ted as long as Ted's on his own side of the fence. Milo gets to come up in the yard sometimes and run around and chomp on the weeds, and Bryce just likes to bring him up into the yard and play with him a little bit. And Teddy likes that too, but Teddy is not always nice about the way he plays with Milo when they are in the same enclosure. Ted wants to jump up on Milo's back and things, and Milo doesn't think that's a nice idea. Milo thinks dogs should stay where dogs belong, on the ground, and not right on top of him. Okay, so once again, this kind of ripple, or kind of curled just a little bit from the heat, so I'm just kind of bending it gently back the other way so I can get it to lay down on my cardstock, my card base. And I'm just going to kind of softly bend it back. There we go. Now I'm going to put my tape across just the corner. This time, I'm going to stop it just above the hummingbird's beak. And just wrap that right around the corner there. Trim this off. I was doing that out of view, sorry. And that will hold that bow very nicely there. And look, you got this one that's at least enough for a double, if not another triple. And then we're going to put this on this card and put a greeting on it, and this beautiful thing is going to be done. You're going to love me when you deal with all this powder. You guys said you were finding glitter for weeks after our paint with glitter class. Well, you're going to be finding embossing powder for a while too. Could you... I think so. Yeah, Alice, I'm sure you could add the ultra fine glitter to any embossing powder and get the same kind of glittery results. It would be interesting to try it though. Try a small quantity first, but I think it would work just fine. Again, it's such powdery fine glitter that I don't think it will interfere with the color. Just should make it sparkly. I like the way you think. Okay, get a nice row of glue there. Put this down. I'm going to hold this in place just because this is a little bit... my top is not as straight as it could be. I'm going to trim that off a little bit more when I'm done. But I'm going to hold this in place for a second, let that tack really good. Cut that a little shorter than I meant to. I think it'll be fine. And now we need another gold greeting, or black and gold. This one says sending love on your birthday. I'm going to put this up on some foam squares and put it right in the middle of the bottom. Yeah, it is kind of those bright oriental colors, isn't it? Good thought. I didn't consider that, but it actually does kind of remind me of Oriental art too, now that you say it. Wait till you do these, guys. When you see this in person, you are not going to believe how beautiful this is. You are just not going to believe what you have created. They are just stunning. There's my little greeting on there. Here's our two cards. This one's a little taller, but both beautiful. They're beautiful. Okay. Let's see. I want to do the beach next. I love what this one does. Wait till you see the difference in in intensity between the two of these. For the beach card, we are going to need our aqua colored cardstock, one of our 4x4 cards.
I know that you just like knowing this, so it is $5.45.
Okay. We are going to get our, I don't have a lot to show you in terms of future projects today because I'm still working on them. So we can play a little longer. I'm going to get this copper mine color. So I've got my cardstock for my glittering. I've got my copper mine half sheet. I've got my 4x4 card. I've got my aqua. Now I need my napkin. There it is. And let's get this out. I thought you should have a choice on this because this looks so pretty with the color of the I'll just leave that up there for now so I don't lose my tag. I thought it looked so pretty with the cardstock, the Miri I chose for the background. Peel up this one. And my napkin's just a tad wider than my adhesive. So I have to decide where it's going to go. And what I chose to do, I thought it'd be really pretty to retain this blue border, but I just couldn't find a way to do it with the size cards that I had selected for this. So I had to give that up, but I thought this would be really pretty to retain this blue part of the border. You might be able to figure out a way to do that. Could have used a different size card, but I already had these out. So, okay, I'm gonna get my ink on here. Get a nice thick coat. Make sure I get it at the bottom this time, or I missed it last time. Even when you put the ink on, it begins to intensify the color. Get our glittered embossing powder out here. I wanted to try this technique with, Kim had mentioned just doing the 3 layers without the glitter. I wanted to try doing that to see if I could get a more masculine card. What I found was that without the glitter, the little imperfections, you know, the ripples that we talked about, become way more obvious. And I didn't like the way that looked. So I'm going to say I liked it better, and I'm going to show you some that I did with rice paper. I liked it better with the glitter, even though I was going for a masculine card. I think I'd give it to the guys glittered too. But I'll show you what I came up with. I'm going to use my little paddle this time because it's a smaller piece of cardstock. Not burning my fingers seems like a good idea. Watch this one turn, guys. Talk about a change in the intensity. This is amazing here. Watch this happen. Look how much more red those reds become. See that? Bryce was really intrigued by that when he was out here. He picked up the napkin. I'll show you the original napkin when we're done here. He picked up the original napkin and then he looked at the finished card and he just couldn't believe the difference between the two. Brenda sent me some fun class ideas. If any of the rest of you have fun class ideas, email me, guys. Let me know what you're thinking would be fun. Okay, like the others, the adhesive kind of tries to lift a little bit here. Just tap it back down. It seems to do it more on this first coat than some of the others. I don't know if different adhesive would give us different results or not, but I'm going to hit this just a little bit more. It actually kind of looks a little foggy in places. Okay. Alrighty. They do look very high-end, Mary. Amazing, huh? And when you're buying your own napkins for them and you're splitting those napkins yourself, and some of those napkins will make, one napkin will make 4 cards. This is one where getting a stash of the supplies and then making them yourself is going to save you some money too. Although the most expensive part is your enamel. Let's see if I want another layer of glitter on this. I think I'm good. I think I go right to the embossing powder.
Alice said that she had her pumpkin cards out on her table yesterday when the cable guy was here, and he gave me the nicest compliment and said that he would pay $6.99 for one of my cards.
Oh, did you sell it to him? That was nice. We had a person here doing paperwork with Bob yesterday for the sale of his house in Idaho, and these cards here caught her eye, and she ended up taking a business card home with her to check out what we were doing with classes.
Yeah, Bryce ran downstairs and he had his mask on, so I wasn't expecting him to be down there with his mask on. And he goes, I just had to grab a business card. I said, well, you would think that you guys might have some handy.
Yeah, they're right there in the on the desk by the door. But that was cool. Ashley's off, so Margie's been in the last couple days filling orders. Ashley went on vacation. We do let him have vacation sometimes. Not often, mind you. I need these guys, but seeing one's family is a good thing, I guess. I was talking to Jordan yesterday, I don't remember, yesterday I guess. The days all run together when you stay up all night. I was talking to Jordan and she said on their military base they're not doing Halloween this year. They can't do any Halloween decorations or anything because the Navy doesn't want the kids to trick or treat because of COVID. So Jordan and Jake were a little bummed out that they couldn't put out all their Halloween decorations because evidently they have quite a few. Jake is almost more into Halloween than he is into Christmas. So evidently they have quite a stash. Okay, going back in with the ink pad again. Put a second layer of this glaze. Now what's amazing to me with the shells, when you do the shells, is not only the color change, which is amazing, but how much it begins to look like water. I love that. It really looks like these shells are in the water. I thought that was fun. Okay, and our paddle out here. I'll probably finish this one and I'll let you guys finish the other two on your own. You certainly know what to do at this point. I do want to show you the ones I did with rice paper. I think they turned out fun. They did have the same issues with the little ripple, which I don't think you would have if you were using cardstock. So I'll just test that because, like I said, I think we might have to do one of the Hortensia cards using this technique because I think it'd be really, really beautiful. Or one of the, bring this in some way into the bigger group because I think this is really, really fun. And well, I started with you because this is our stamping group and you already had the embossing pads. I think everybody would like this as long as they have an embossing gun. And I'm guessing most people do. Ooh, that was hot there. Stuck my finger right where it was hot. I don't recommend it. Missed a spot again. Look how watery. I don't know if you can see that, but how much like water it's beginning to look. Pretty. One more. One more layer. We have a couple of embossing guns pretty reasonably priced in the store if you need one. I like this. I think this is WOW, isn't it? What's it say? Zap. This is Zap. I have these, and if we still have them, I also have some from Crafter's Companion. Each of them, I think, was $19.99, so that's a pretty good deal on an embossing gun. These are so much fun to do, guys. You're going to love this. I know I keep saying that, but it really, really is fun. The end result is just spectacular. My final layer, so I'm going to make sure I get a nice coverage of everything this time. So all my edges are cooked good. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut this down. The cut lines on this one are fairly obvious because it's so much smaller. And when we cut that down, that gives us 4 1/4. That should give us a pretty nice margin for our card. Let's get our card covered, our card base covered. And, you know, let's see. Where's my tape? I love that you're sharing these things on Pinterest. That's wonderful. You know, a brayer's a good idea, Glenda. Sorry, I haven't read up the comments there.
I missed it.
Yeah, I think a brayer would be a great idea to smooth out the wrinkles. Should try that. That sounds like a great idea. I think I've said this before, but let me just say it again. If I ever miss your comment, please know that I'm not trying to shun anybody. It's just going back and forth between the creating and reading the comments. Occasionally I miss one, but when I go back later and watch the video, I go, oh man, I should have commented on that. What a great idea here and there, but at least you guys are sharing with each other, so even if I don't catch it, I know you guys are catching it. Okay, I think this will be okay. I'm wondering if I want to cut this down just a tad more to allow for my copper, but then I have a pretty good border, so I think, and it's pretty even. I think my top and bottom margins are a little bit different than my side margins. I'm going to take just a tad off before I line it and see if that's more even. That looks pretty good. Although I do have kind of a roughness along this edge, I think I'll get rid of. Now let's see if I'm even. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to put my copper board under there. And I'm going to trim this up. I only want just a tad of that copper to show. I think the copper really sets these off. Do send me either post your card samples or send them to me if you're uncomfortable with Facebook. Send them to me. I can put them up for you. But I love posting your samples, guys. Love to see what you guys come up with. I don't post my own card samples most of the time, although I do sometimes post the pictures before the class. So even the ones we're making in class are okay, because most of the time the finished cards from class don't get up unless you send them in. Just pushing that down, and I'm pushing some of my little wrinkles out, although it's fine. Again, it really looks like ripples on water on this one. Okay. I'm going to cut a really fine border here. Just enough to show. And this one I did not put a bow on. I thought that the shells kind of spoke for themselves, and the double matting was just a nice touch, and I didn't think it needed a bow on this one. I just have to decide which way I want the shells to go. I think I like it that way, actually. Okay. I'm going to glue this down, and then we'll have to decide about our happy birthday. I actually think I have a nice place for that if I want to use this, but I did like the tag color I had for this too, so this is really just a matter of personal preference. We have this tag color. This one says Age to Perfection, and I have a nice spot for that right there. I do like this kind of light peach color with the shells. That looks really pretty. Or I can use my happy birthday sticker. What do you guys think? Which one should we put on? You guys have an opinion? Happy birthday. You got it. It makes this one a little bit different than the others too, that all have the little hunky-dory greeting tags on them. Can I fold that back on itself? Back up, Happy. Or do you just have a short tail? You just have a short tail. Okay. I thought maybe I folded the sticker up on itself, but it doesn't appear that it did. These stickers are from Duty. We have this particular one in silver, gold, black, copper, and one called multi. And the multi is really fun on bright colored cards. It has, it's done in white, and then the outline is done in multicolors. Okay. And I'm going to glue this down here, and then we'll take a look. that was a resounding vote for happy birthday, wasn't it? Okay. All right, here we go. This should stick really well on this cardstock. I don't have any trouble with this coming up. All right. I'm going to hold this just for a second because it's... There we go. Here's this one. Here's the original. They're both beautiful. I want to show you something else. Where is that napkin? Here's the original napkin color. Look at the difference in color between those. Isn't that amazing? I think that's pretty cool. The way it intensifies the color. All right. We finished 3 out of 5. I'm going to let you do the other 2 on your own. You have plenty of materials here to do them. And let's take a look at what I created in rice paper last night. We have some really, really fun images in our rice paper in the store. I'll link it for you in the newsletter. Our rice paper is primarily from Stamperia, but we also have another brand. And in fact, we actually have 2 other brands. And here are these. All of these animal prints are off of one sheet of forest. Now, this is one that I was going to do in all glaze and try and make a more masculine card out of it. And I just liked it better. Hi, Jordan. Welcome. I just liked it better with the glitter in it. So even for a guy, I would send him the glittered version. Next. Jordan will like this one. She likes bears. I thought of you when I made this one, Jordan. There's my bear. Used my hunky-dory corner rounder on this. Here is the eagle off the same sheet. Didn't that turn out pretty? And this one is a different brand than Stamperia. And I love, love, love the train. Isn't that fun? I don't know any guys that wouldn't think that was pretty cool, even if it's glittery. And the glitter just kind of makes it look a little bit... Will you please link these? Yes, I will.
And Mary R. wants to know if you are doing this as a class kit.
Do you want it as a class kit? I actually can just link the papers for you if you want. But if you want a class kit, we can make one. Aren't they beautiful? If you want them in a class kit, we can do it. Love, love, love them. Aren't they pretty? So I did these last night just to try out the rice paper. And I love the way they turned out. Aren't they fun? And I actually still have one more image in these and then a bunch of tags in these. So you get a lot on the sheet of rice paper. This is one. I don't have much left here, but I thought this would make a great background. I'll show you what I cut off, maybe. I figure out what I did with it. Oh, I think I sent it off somewhere. It just had a big map. It just had a big map at the top. That would make a great background for something. But there was, the rice paper and the napkins were really about the same weight by the time that you peel the napkins. So I think that there were a lot of similarities in doing these two. I'm curious to try the cardstock now and see what happens with the cardstock where you don't have to put the adhesive under it. Oh, here was the piece I cut off of the tray. Just so you can see what that image looked like. But I think this would make a nice background for something. It might even actually make a good card just to use the journey part of the cardstock. Saying the journey part and I was holding it up too high. There's the journey at the top. So anyway, you guys want it as a class? I'll do it as a class. It was about the same, Glenda. About the same amount of wrinkling between the cardstock and the rice paper. I'll absolutely put this together as a class kit for you. In order to do it as a class kit, I'll need to get some more toppers, but I could do that. We'll do it. Yeah. I will get some more of the toppers ordered because I don't know that I have enough of the same ones, but I will, and I'll get some more wow because we're going to need more wow, but we can absolutely do it. Didn't they turn out fun though? So that was that project I did last night. We'll look at that. We'll do that as a class coming up then, because I seem to see a pretty resounding yes, we want it. Here's our class for Saturday. I just wanted to remind you this card's coming up on Saturday. Don't miss this one, guys, because this is fun. This is fun. I saw this in a magazine and I thought, I can make that. I can make that. So I went out and I sat here with my pencil and paper and figured out how to make it and then sat down and did it. And I love the way this turned out. So this is coming up on Saturday. And of course we have a bunch of other cards in this set too. We're making 6 cards on Saturday. So please remember we are starting early because we're making 6 cards and this one includes the shaker with the fun mini iridescent yellow butterflies in it. So that's fun. And okay, we will definitely put that kit together for you. It is, consider it done. I will get the orders in and we will get some of those coming. And it may be different images, maybe similar images, but I will keep a focus towards masculine, okay? When I started this, I thought maybe I could just do the glazing and leave the glitter out. But they look so much better with the glitter in them that I absolutely recommend putting the glitter layer in because you just end up with so much more satisfaction in the result when you put the glitter in. Otherwise, the little imperfections from the lightweight paper really show if it's just the glaze, but the glitter kind of does away with that. So, okay, there we go. That's what I got for you today. I'm also working on doing another a cut and emboss project, so I will tell you about that when I get it done. Round about the middle of the night when I expected to be very productive, I just kind of hit a roadblock and said, oops, there's no more creativity happening tonight. It just went away. So I gotta get that back out and try it again. If you're watching and you like this class and you want to see more of them, please give me the thumbs up. It not only helps me by making me feel good and appreciated, and I love that, It also helps our stats, and it helps to make sure that YouTube is recommending us to other potential crafty friends. So give me that thumbs up if you would, please. And Margie and I are going to do some more planning soon here on our celebration, our anniversary and 250,000 celebration. So we'll be having something come up on that soon. And I guess that's it. I think it's time to say goodnight, Gracie. So thank you guys for your time. Love you. We'll see you on Saturday, I hope. Bye-bye.